Good evening, my name is Tony Gonzalez. I'm a senior at HEA, and this is our final project in AP Environmental Science.
Good evening, as you heard my fellow friend right here, my name is Machado. I'm also senior at HEA, and this is our final project for environmental science. Hope you guys enjoy it. Species, NIP. So today I was having a conversation with my friend Enrique about science, about Machado's class, and I would like to ask my friend Enrique, how would you describe the role of a keystone species in an ecosystem?
You get a bunch of rocks, right? You stack them on top of each other. But there's that one rock that keeps the whole structure together. That is a keystone species. If you yank out that rock, it falls apart.
You know the boy, your partner, take all of your
Beneficial or harmful to an ecosystem?
Beneficial, man. It's like corn, you know? It's beneficial, it's healthy for an ecosystem, because without the keystone species, it all goes to hell.
Well, you heard the man. He sure does know what he's talking about. See you guys later. So today, we have already found out what is a keystone species. We've asked about the role of a keystone species in an ecosystem, and we've heard about some of the difference between native species and a keystone species. But for now, we're going to ask more questions about how they actually brought over here.
Hello, today I will be talking to Dr. Gonzalez about wildlife and invasive species and keystone species. Dr. Gonzalez, nice to see you. Good morning.
Thank you. Love to be in this program.
I wanted to talk to you about invasive species and non-invasive, and what do you think are the differences, and what are each, what do they bring as effects to our ecosystem?
Well, an invasive species is a species that belongs somewhere else and it has been brought to a new environment where it's causing trouble. Examples of this could be zebra mussels, or United States, that would be an example, for instance. These animals, they belong in the Ponto-Caspian region, and they have been brought all the way through Europe and also the American continent. Why are they called exotic, alien invasive species? Alien, because they are exotic, they belong somewhere else. Invasive, because when they arrive, they spread and they outcompete or prey on native species.
A keystone species is a plant or animal that plays a unique and crucial role in the way an ecosystem functions. Without keystone species, the ecosystem will be dramatically different or cease to exist altogether. All species in an ecosystem or habitat rely on each other. The contribution of a keystone species are large compared to the species prevalence in the habitat. A small number of keystone species can have a huge impact on the environment. Good morning. Today, I found myself here with Mr. Gazebo, our HEA math teacher, and we're here to talk about some science. So, Mr. Gazebo, good morning, first of all. And let me ask you, what are keystone species?
Keystone species are species that are unique to an ecosystem that usually help out the ecosystem, the environment.
Very close, very close. Well, that's it for today, sir. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Species, also called introduced species, alien species, or exotic species, any non-native species that significantly modifies or disrupts the ecosystem it colonizes. Such species may arrive in new areas through natural migration, but they are often introduced by the activities of other species. Human activities, such as those involved in global commerce and the pet trade, are considered to be the most common ways invasive plants, animals, microbes, and other organisms are transported to new habitats. Most introduced species do not survive extended periods in new habitats because they do not possess the evolutionary adaptations to adjust to the challenges posed by their new surroundings. Some introduced species may become invasive when they possess a built-in competitive advantage over indigenous species in invaded areas. Under these circumstances, new areas can establish breeding populations and thrive, especially if the ecosystem lacks natural predators capable of keeping them in check. The ecological disruption that tends to follow such invasions often reduces the ecosystem's biodiversity and causes economic harm to people who depend on the ecosystem's biological resources. Invasive predators may be so adept at capturing prey that prey populations decline over time, and many prey species are eliminated from affected ecosystems. Other invasive species, in contrast, may prevent native species from obtaining food, living space, or other resources. Over time, invading species can effectively replace native ones. often forcing the localized extinction of many native species. Invasive plants and animals may also serve as disease vectors that spread parasites and pathogens that may further disrupt invaded areas.
Hello, so I'm here today with Ms. Gonzalez, and we're going to talk about a little bit about keystone species and invasive species. Hello, Ms. Gonzalez.
Hello, Tony.
So my question would be, what economic effects on preserving keystone species and eliminating invasive species would have effect on the world and on the United States?
Okay. Overall, in the United States and the world, they have come to realize the importance of protecting our species, and they spent billions of dollars to preserve the keystone species as they maintain a balanced ecosystem. In addition, they've employed different organizations and put in great amounts of money to preserve this invasive, to eliminate the invasive species and conserve our native.
So good evening, young fellow. This is wanted to share a message that my friend and partner over here, Tony Gonzalez, helped me develop, and our partner as well, more of a helper, Jose the Toro, who also helped a lot with the development of this video for us to be able to bring it to you guys. Human beings have recklessly exploited the resources on this planet and continue to do so despite the obvious widespread negative consequences. Due to the severe effects of human expansion in the last thousands of years, some scientists now believe that the Earth has entered a new extinction phase. Considering the convenience of modern life, it is easy for people to forget that they rely on natural ecosystems to live as much as other animals do. Advances in the production and distribution of food in the last 50 years have created the impression that humans have mastered the environment, but this is far from being the case. In recent years, it has become apparent that much of the progress made in the past several decades come with a price. The ecosystem that human beings depend on for their very survival have been radically undermined, and today, many of them appear to be on the verge of breaking down.
The preservation of the fundamental cornerstones of the ecosystem must become a foremost goal in human advancement, and it is clear that their destruction must be stopped. Plankton supporting abundant sea life are dying. Fish that is a staple part of the diet of many people around the world are being fished to extinction. Bees pollinating crops are threatened by many factors, and topsoil sustaining agriculture is disappearing. To solve these problems, people must also address bigger problems caused by human activities such as climate change, the destruction of habitats, and the depletion of resources due to careless use. If any of these species examined should be reduced to a low enough level, consequences for our own survival would be profound. The loss of these actors is happening rapidly, and it is crucial that this must be stopped and reversed as soon as possible. Thank you guys for watching our video, and I hope you guys liked it.
And this is a message for the humanity all to put a thought into it and to consider the importance of saving our own environment. Thank you very much. Have a very nice evening.